everyone, today is day 20 on the carnivore diet. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed or just watched the videos so far on the progress throughout the last 20 days. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe below or hit that bell icon for any alerts when I post something new. So I did want to give my assessment now that we're on day 20. We're about 2/3 of the way through this thing. Now it's kind of the home stretch. If for anyone that's ever done diets or certain physical routines or some sort of a plan for 30 days, this is kind of the toughest part is that final home stretch, that last 10 days. Things start to become very appealing on the food front. You start noticing things a lot more, a lot of the carb-based foods that you haven't had for, at least in my case, for 20 days. So I have noticed that. I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, I'm starting to think more about things that I don't want to necessarily be tempted by, or at the end of the 30 days, jump back into that mode of thinking like, okay, it's time to scarf our face with a bunch of carb-heavy foods. I don't want to do that. I had a good conversation with my mother, who's been doing the keto diet for over a year now. I talked to her on the way home the other day, and she was giving me some pointers as I transitioned down from carnivore into the traditional keto diet, just giving me some pointers on different recipes, what she does, that sort of thing. And she was never in bad shape. I don't want to make it seem that way. She was never in bad shape, but she lost a good amount of weight. But she does it mainly specifically for blood sugar levels, as diabetes runs in our family. And so she keeps her carbs to zero or very minimal throughout the week in order to keep that in check. So that's very important to me too, because I don't know if I have any sort of risk factors. I did want to highlight one of the things I regret not doing prior to starting this, and that was get my blood work done. I wanted to see where I was from a cholesterol standpoint prior, all the other factors and metrics. So unfortunately, I didn't do that. I would urge anyone that if you're going to start this, because the diet tends to be heavier in fats and things along those lines and cholesterol, get your blood work done first prior to doing it, and then at the end, if you're doing a 30-day, 45, 60 days, whatever it is, get your blood work done at the end as well. That way you can compare the two. So I regret not doing that. I wish I would have done it. A couple other things I wanted to highlight today as we're here on day 20 is secondly, headaches. I think I mentioned briefly in one of these videos that my headaches are down, and that is very, very true. I'm a traditional migraine sufferer, different reasons. I was never able to pinpoint what it was that triggered the migraines, whether it was weather, food, stress, whatever it might be, and I mean, a lot of those factors probably all could do it. But what I found over the last 20 days is really I haven't had many, if not any, real migraines. Now, I will say last night I did get one, but we've had some weird weather here in Florida over the past couple of days. So I think from a migraine standpoint, mine I'm able to now specifically pinpoint. I get migraines with regard to changes in atmospheric pressure. That's definitely seems to be the case. And so as I've eliminated certain things from a diet standpoint, I think I've found other factors that have contributed to these things over the past many years, why I've gotten migraines. So, and speaking with my mother as well, she hasn't had really any in a year, which is phenomenal because she was basically as bad as I was getting migraines. So she thinks hers was specific to food. So I think part of mine was like the carb intake was probably contributing to that. Whatever it does to block certain things, I don't know, because I'm not a scientist or a nutritionist or anything like that. All I can tell you is my firsthand experience. I really, other than last night, haven't had any migraines. So I think mine is atmospheric and weather related, specific. But by removing the carb element from the food and focusing in on that, I haven't had as many, which is tremendous. Sleep pattern still great, and still feeling good. Energy level still at day 20. When I wake up and my energy is kind of kick starts for the day, it levels off and stays moderate until I go to bed. At night when I start feeling like my energy levels start going down, I listen to my body. I go to sleep. I don't try to push it beyond that, because I think that's where a lot of us make mistakes in our sleep pattern. We stay up late because we have a screen in front of our face, which is not a good thing, or we're watching TV, or we're doing this or that, and we can't wind down. So that's almost a caveat to this whole thing, is me saying when you're trying to go to sleep and you're putting a screen in front of your face, your mind is not winding down. If anything, you're re-triggering, refiring things, and it's harder to sleep. So put the screen down if you're going to bed. I'm guilty of it, so don't think this is me preaching. I'm guilty of it too. So do yourself a favor and try to not have that screen in front of your face when you're going to sleep. So during this carnivore diet, once again, my sleep pattern has been phenomenal, really. My migraines and headaches have been phenomenal in comparison to what I was used to. I mean, really only one in the past 20 days is great for me, and really attributed to this weather. We've had this tropical storm that's been blowing weird weather throughout our Central Florida area, so I'm pretty happy with that. But then I also wanted to mention, so I'm down about 14 and a half, almost 15 pounds right now from when I started. And once again, I say it every time, weight was not the goal. It was to re-engage my mind and my spirit and my physical side into the gym, and that is definitely working out as well. But I will tell you, this shirt that I'm wearing, this Lululemon shirt, it was pretty snug. I hadn't worn it in a while because it was just tight around the belly, and I just didn't feel, I felt just gross when I wore it. So I haven't worn it in a long time, but I can wear it now, and it actually is pretty loose on me around, especially around the midsection, which is even better. I mean, that was kind of the intention of the shirt anyways to begin with, but I haven't been able to wear this in quite some time. Now I can. And so the diet itself works. But so just to recap, my regret, not getting blood work done ahead of time. If you haven't done the carnivore diet, you're thinking about doing it, get some blood work done just so you can have your numbers prior. That way you can check it after, because you want to see what impact it was. Because for those carnivores out there that have continued this beyond 30 days and it's just your lifestyle now, you know it's important to check those numbers to make sure you're in check and in balance. So I regret not doing that. Secondly, headaches. As a migraine sufferer, really for the past, 15, 20, really 20 plus years, as a migraine sufferer, I'm 38 years old now. I've been suffering from migraines for definitely 20 plus years. I really haven't had any other than last night, and it was, to me, attributed to what's going on outside and in the atmosphere. That is huge. And then thirdly, once again, revisiting, my sleep pattern is definitely still great, which I was not a good sleeper before. So is it all due to carbs? I don't know. Maybe not. But it's definitely something going on within my body because of this. I do look forward to transitioning down to keto. I do like vegetables and things along those lines. So I look forward to that expanding a bit. But it's been interesting. It's been interesting throughout this whole process, and then also re-engaging a bit more in the kitchen and cooking and trying things out. As an example, I saw a recipe out there. Someone was making carnivore tacos, which basically all it was cheese and meat, right? Because they made a taco shell out of cheese. And I said, let me try that. So I actually have a griddle, and I took a bunch of shredded cheese that is carnivore friendly, and I put it on the griddle, and I toasted it to make it nice and crisp underneath, and to be able then to flip it, similar like how you'd flip a pancake, and to toast the other side. And then it was just basically a disc of toasted cheese, and I'm like, that's a nice snack. And that was great, because I like that toasted cheese taste. The texture is really good, and it was something different rather than just, popping on a piece of cheese or drinking some bone broth, which I do love. Hopefully you like that recipe. Mine was for me, I like salty taste, so my recipe was a little bit saltier. If you don't like that, back off on the salt. But overall, I like experimenting in the kitchen, so that's been helpful. My wife is doing a brisket for me right now that we found the recipe on YouTube. And so I'll give an update on that once I have a go at it. But overall, this is day 20. It's been going great. I'm very happy with the results so far, and looking forward to what the next step in the journey is. And even with this channel, I know it's not only going to be about carnivore diets, not only going to be about this and that. This is really me working on myself, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, all these things that are connected. I'm a religious person. I'm a Christian, but I do believe that us as human beings are connected in various ways, different ways. And so I really appreciate support and accountability. And I think all of us moving on the journey together to self-actualization and positive thinking and outlook. That is so huge, especially in today's day and age. There's a lot of talk of just trying to get past 2020, and I agree with that, but it's also important to look back at this year and see what are those situations or what are those things that help bring us together or helped us to reach towards self-improvement and constantly push towards a goal. So, and the good times and the bad times, drawing those positive things out, I think is very important for not only you, your family, your household, your neighborhood, but you mentally and stress-wise and from an anxiety standpoint. I think it's so huge and powerful. We're all in this together. We might be on a different path or a different journey, but as we push towards this, this, like I said, a self-actualization or a self-improvement, it's huge. It's powerful. So anyways, I'm rambling now. I appreciate you guys listening in if you have, and if you're subscribing. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe below, and the bell icon's there too. So that's once again the YouTube 101. Thank you so much for tuning into this. And if you have any suggestions on anything or any comments, feel free to comment below. I'm curious to hear what everyone else is doing and what journey you're on, not only with carnivore diet, but anything else. And let's kind of work towards this together, right? Anyways, have a great rest of the day. Thank you. Day 20 is just started, really. It's not in the books. This is the morning. So I'm here in the office, doing my normal work. So anyways, we will chat soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye.